कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नित्य गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय शिल प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव प्रभुपाद गुरुदेव प्रभुपाद हरे शो
हरे कृष्ण थैंक यू ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनश्लाघयां चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणजगन्नाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललितां श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्दा राधा कान्दा नमस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पातितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमदे भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिधि नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद आदर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So welcome back to Bhagavad Gita class. We're on to second chapter, Bhagavad Gita as it is. Contents of Gita summarized. Verses are
68, 69, 70.
right. Good. So we'll read 68 first. Tasmadasya mahabaho nigrahitani sarvashaha indriyani indriyarthebhyas tasya prajna pratishtida tasmadasya mahabaho nigrahitani sarvashaha indriyani indriyarthebhyas tasya prajna pradishtita. Tasmadasya mahabaho nigrahidani sarvashaha indriyani indriyatebhyas tasya prajna pradishtita. Okay, Chandra, can recite. Now you're mute.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Okay, right.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tasmat yasya mahabaho
Nigrahidani
सर्वशः इन्द्रियाणि इन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठितः. हरे कृष्णा प्रभु.
Hare Krishna, right. Okay, Renuka Mataji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tasmadasya Mahabaho Nigrahitani Sarvashah Indriyani Indriyatebhyah
Pradishtita. Okay, right. Hare Prabhu.
हरे कृष्ण ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय तस्मादस्य महाभावो निर्गहितानि सर्वशः इन्द्रियाणि इन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता. हरे कृष्ण.
Okay, Hare Krishna. C.S. Prabhu, you can read. C.S. Prabhu, you're mute.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
ഏത് ശ്ലോകം?
68.
15.
68. 68.
Say, Govinda.
No. Second chapter. Tasmadasya Mahabaho Nigrahidani Sarvasha. Second chapter, 68.
ഞാൻ കയ്യേറിയിട്ടല്ലോ. 68. Krishna.
Krishna.
തസ്മാത് അതുകൊണ്ട്.
No. You just read the verse only. Nothing else. Just read the verse.
വിവർത്തനം അതുകൊണ്ട്.
Prabhuji, you read the verse only. Nothing else. Just read the verse. This is English class, not Malayalam.
ഞാൻ എടുത്തില്ല, അതാണ് പറ്റിയത്.
Okay, right. Okay, leave it. No problem. Okay. Ramya Maji can read.
Therefore,
Hare Krishna.
Hare yes.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tasmad yasya mahabaho nigrihitani sarvasha indriyani indriyatebhyah tasya prajna pradishtita.
Renuka Mataji, you can read the translation.
Therefore, Almighty armed one whose senses are restrained from their objects is certainly or steady.
Okay, right. Verse 69. Yanisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagrati samyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyado mune या निशा सर्वभूतानां तस्यां जागृति संयमी यस्यां जागृति भूतानि सा निशा पश्यतो मुने या निशा सर्वभूतानां तस्यां जागृति संयमी यस्यां जागृति भूतानि सा निशा पश्यतो मुने. Right, Chandra?
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु.
Hare Krishna.
या निशा सर्वभूतानां तस्यां जागृति संयमी यस्यां जागृति भूतानि सा निशा पश्यतो मुनेः.
Right. Ravi Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
हरेषां या निशा सर्वभूतानां तस्यां जागर्ति संयमी यस्यां जागृति भूतानि सा निशा पश्यतो मुनेः. हरे कृष्ण.
Right. Right. Renugamaji.
या निशा सर्वभूतानां तस्य जागृति संयमी यस्यां जागृति भूतानि सा निशा पश्यतो मुनेः.
Okay, right. Okay, CS Prabhu, if you want, you can read the verse 70. So 69. You are mute.
हरे कृष्ण सर्वभूतानां सकल जीविकानां.
Please read the verse only. 69 verse only. Read the verse only.
സർവ്വജീവജാലങ്ങൾക്കും രാത്രിയായിരിക്കും.
Okay, right. Just one second. Just hold it. Okay, right. Ramya Maji, you can read. Read the verse.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु. या निशा सर्वभूतानां तस्यां जागृति संयमी यस्यां जागृति भूतानि सा निशा पश्यतो मुनेः.
Right.
हरे कृष्ण.
Yeah, you can read the translation also.
What is night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self-control, and the time of awakening for all beings is night for the introspective stage. Hare Krishna
Right.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Right, 70, verse 70. Apuryamanam achala pradishtam samudramapa pravishanti yadva tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sa shantimapnodi na kama kami. Apuryamanam achala pradishtam samudramapa pravishanti yadva तद्वत् कामायं प्रविशन्ति सर्वे सशान्तिमाप्नोति न कामकामी आपूर्यमाणम् अजलप्रतिष्ठं समुद्रमापं प्रविशन्ति यद्वा तद्वत् कामाये प्रविशन्ति सर्वे सशान्तिमाप्नोति न कामकामी. Right, Chandra?
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु.
Hare Krishna.
अपूर्यमानाम् अचलप्रतिष्ठं समुद्रमाप प्रविशन्ति यद्यत् तद्वत् कामायं प्रविशन्ति सर्वे सशान्तिम् अप्नोति न कामकामी.
Hare Krishna. Right. Hare Krishna. Ravi bro.
हरेषु आपूर्यमाणं वचल्पतिष्ठं समुद्रमापः प्रविशन्ति यद्वत् तद्वत् कामायं प्रविशन्ति सर्वे सशान्तिमाप्नोति न कामकामी. हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna. Right. Renuka Mataji.
अपूर्यमानं अचलप्रतिष्ठं समुद्रमापः प्रविशन्ति यद्
तद्वत् कामं तद्वत् कामा Some problem with the connectivity. Okay, Ramya Malaji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Krishna.
Apuryamanam ajala pratishtam samudramapa pravishandi yatvad tadvad kamayam pravishandi sarve sashanti mapnodi na kama kami. Hare
Right.
Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Right. Yes, Chandra. Read the translation.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. A person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever bigger, being filled but is always still, can alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to satisfy such desires. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Hare Bol. Right. So, we are nearing the end of the chapter, especially this section, which is starting from 54 to 72. Which is the section? Which is the section 54 to 72? Krishna is talking about whom? Siddha Prajna. Yes, correct. Krishna is talking about Siddha Prajna. It's based on Arjuna's question. 4 questions Arjuna has posed. Which are the 4 questions? Anyone can tell? We have explained it many times in the previous classes. Which is the first question? Okay, don't read the verse. Just give the answer. That's all. Okay. Which is the first question?
Symptoms of one Sthira Prajna.
Symptoms. Yes.
Of Siddha Prajna.
By which you can identify a Siddha Prajna. What are the symptoms by which you can identify a Siddha Prajna? That is the first question. Then the second one.
How does he speak?
How does he speak?
How does he speak? How does he speak? How does he speak in both the conditions, favorable conditions, unfavorable conditions? Sometimes very anxiety is there, some which is not very favorable. When you are miserable, when you're happy, so many conditions are there. In all those conditions, how does he speak? And next,
What is his
How
language?
d-
What is his language?
What is his language?
that is Bhashan, that is Bhasha. How does he speak? Siddha Prajna. Kim Prabhasheda. How does it sit? What does that mean? How does it sit means what?
What is his mind? How does he control his mind?
How does he speak? How does he sit? What do you mean sit?
How does he control his mind?
How
What
does
is-
he control?
Yes, how does he control his senses? How does he control his senses? Then one last one. How does he walk?
How does he walk?
Which means
How does he engage his senses?
How does
he engages senses.
his but
Engages senses. How does he engage? Engage means use the senses. Control means stop the senses. Engage means use the senses. Okay. Suppose some words you may not be able to follow. Control means how do you stop, or we don't allow senses to go on its own way. That is called control. Suppose you want to play a lot. You want to go to hot sun and play. Will your mother allow you?
Allow you hot sun.
Will you allow you? She allow you?
no, Prabhu.
And she says, okay, Chandra, if you go out in the noon, hot sun, you'll get sweating, and then afterwards you'll develop cough and cold and fever. So she's stopping you from indulging in games, no? So that is means she's controlling you, isn't it? She's controlling you. So that's a duty of a mother, control the children whenever required. And then what is engage means what? Use it. You can use how you can use the senses for good purpose. Suppose you want to draw something. Some mother tells you, okay, why don't you draw the picture of Krishna instead and drawing a picture of some table or some whatever it is you are looking for initially. Then your mother says, Chandra, instead of drawing a tiger, why don't you draw Krishna?
Yes.
Will you accept that?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
So that means you are engaging. No, you are not stopping. She's not asking you, don't draw tiger. Instead, he says, okay, you draw Krishna. You want to draw. No, it is your intention to draw. Instead of drawing a picture of a tiger, suppose you are drawing a picture of a Krishna or Radharani or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that means your desire to draw is satisfied, but in a good way, with connection with Krishna. So this means engagement. So who is the best, which is example that Srila Prabhupada gives, who has engaged all his senses for Krishna service? One. Now Yamunacharya has developed a good taste. He is of course Acharya, but who is a devotee who is engaging all his senses for the service of Krishna?
It's called a sadhaka.
Yes, Maji?
Sadhaka.
Pataka?
He is called a sadhaka.
Yes, called sadhaka. Who is in his purport, Srila Prabhupada gives an example of a devotee who is engaging all his senses in Krishna service. Ravi, you know? Is Ambarish Maharaj. Ambarish Maharaj, he gives an example of Ambarish Maharaj, no? Savai Pada Krishna Pada Ravendo Vajamsi Vaikunta Gunanu Varane. See, all his sight, his eyes, his nose, his ears, his tongue, his touch, his hands, his feet, his head, everything is used for service of Krishna. So is Ambarish Maharaja, who is a very great, was a great king and was a very great devotee also. Then Krishna then indicates what are the danger of not controlling your senses. Even if one sense, you have to be always connected. The best way to control senses is to always remain connected to Krishna. So Krishna, he says that in verse number 65, 64 and 65, he says, Prasade, Daga Deshu Vimiktoeshu Vishyan Indriyas Charan. You can use the senses, whatever way you like, which you want to execute, provided that they are under your control. And then such a person easily achieves the mercy of Krishna. And when you achieve the mercy of Krishna, what is the result? What is the result? Maybe Prabhu cannot reciprocate. When you have to study the verses very minutely. Then you can easily answer.
Yes, sir.
So verse 65, Krishna says, Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasyo bhajayade. That means if you receive the mercy of Krishna, all those threefold miseries which have been troubling you for so long, continuously, they're completely eradicated. Then prasanna chedasa, then become very happy. Prasanna chedasa, and then you are happy, your mind becomes, your intelligence is well sustained, it becomes steady. But if you are not connected to Krishna, what happens? If you are not connected to Krishna, what happens? Does he has good intelligence? Chandra, I have to continuously ask questions because your concentration is flagging. You're playing with some kind of thing and not concentrating.
Sorry, Prabhu.
Okay, right. You should always concentrate. No? If you waver, no concentration loss, then you'll be not able to follow the class. So there's a verse called 66, which is called Nasti Buddhi Ayuktasya. If you are not connected to Krishna, your intelligence will not work. You may have material intelligence, but that intelligence will not work properly. So if you want to make the proper use of intelligence, the best way is to always engage in service of Krishna. Then that intelligence will give you what to do, what time, always. And when intelligence is not fixed, what happens? When intelligence is not fixed, what happens?
Peace will not be
No
there.
peace. Eh?
No peace.
No peace, yes. Na chapa bhavavayanda shanti. No peace. And when there is no peace?
Then he will not be happy.
No happiness. Correct. No peace, no happy. To this one. So is it sufficient to control some senses? Okay, I'll control out of 11 senses, 5 jnanendriyas, 5 karmendriyas and mind. If I control 10 senses, will I be peaceful? Will I be happy?
No, Prabhu.
No. So which is the verse it says that you have to control everything? Yes. Indriyanam hi charadam yanmano nudhiyade. Yes, right. Yes, Chandra. Aha, very clearly backed out. Immediately I am reciting. You say, okay, you recite. I am not recite.
Verse number 67.
Prabhu, verse number 67.
Yes, 67. Indriyanam hi charadam.
Indriyanam charadam yanmano nibidhyate tatasya harati prakyam vayurnavami vambasi.
So what is Nava means? What is Nava?
Nava means boat.
Yes, good. Ambasi means what?
Prabhu, I don't know.
Is water. Water. Ambasi means water. Okay. In this instance, it's called ocean or sea, whatever it is, or river. And Vayu means what?
Vayu means wind.
Wind. Okay. Suppose the wind is blowing very, very fast. It's like hurricane. Then what is the position? What will happen to the boat? Boat is in the sea now, and now the big and very ferocious hurricane is blowing now. So what will the boat? What is the position of boat then? The boat will start capsizing. No.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, boat position very dangerous. Can go down. Might sink sometimes. Same way, even if one sense is let loose, immediately the mind, everything will be out of focus. Mind, intelligence, everything will be derailed. So there is a very good sage called Saubhari Muni. Saubhari. Have you heard of Saubhari? Have you heard of Shakuntala? Shakuntala. Shakuntala. Maybe Chandra have not heard, but other Renuka Mataji, they would have heard about, no? Shakuntala. Who is Shakuntala? Shakuntala. She is a wife of, or rather, of Dushyanta. Dushyanta comes in Kuru dynasty. And the son of Shakuntala is Bharata. Was a very great king. They are all from Kuru dynasty in which Pandavas and Kauravas appear. So Shakuntala was a daughter of Vishwamitra. He begot from Menaka. Menaka was a very, what you call, Apsarasa from and heavenly planets. When Vishwamitra started a great tapasya, Indra sent this Menaka to lure him, because he was doing great tapasya, and Indra was afraid that suppose he goes on like this for so many years, my position will be lost. So he immediately sent a very beautiful Apsaras called Menaka, And in the presence of Menaka, when Menaka started dancing and walking, and Vishwamitra's concentration was lost. He came out of his samadhi, and we looked at Menaka. He became agitated. He became very lusty, and then he wanted to have an affair, join with Menaka, and the result was Shakuntala. Shakuntala was brought up by a sage called Kannua Muni. And the son of Kannua Muni is called Subhari. Saubhari means Saubhari, not Subhari, Saubhari. Saubhari was a great scholar with great Pandita, great sage, very knowledgeable. He has written so many books. But he was always disturbed. Since he was not a devotee, he couldn't really properly control his senses. Senses started disturbing him. So he said that I will not remain here. I'll not remain in my hermitage. I'll not go to Himalaya and all that. I'll go to Yamuna and go bin up at the floor of Yamuna, at the bottom of the Yamuna, and start meditation. He was a great yogi. He could meditate under the water. He could stay under for so many months, days together. So stayed under water, Yamuna river. But what happened? He saw some fishes mating, fishes having sexual relationship, and again he was disturbed. So he wanted to satisfy his sexual urge. He said, I cannot concentrate anymore. So he wanted to marry. At that time, he wanted to marry a princess. The king of Mathura was known as Mandata king. His name is now the great king. So he approached the palace of Mandata and asked Mandata king, "O king, I heard that you have so many beautiful daughters. Why don't you give me one of your daughters as my wife?" So King Mandata, he knew that Saubhari Muni was a great sage, and if you cannot displease a sage, he will be very angry. Then he will curse and be a big problem. But the Saubhari was very old also. So the king didn't want to give any of his daughter in marriage to Saubhari because he's very old and his daughters are very young and beautiful. But he cannot deny the sage also because sage is very powerful. So very diplomatically he said, "Okay, Muni, I don't have any objection, but what you can do is you can go and approach my daughters, and if anyone likes you, I can give her as your wife." Very clever, very diplomatic answer. So Saubhari Muni was also very intelligent. He knew that no girl, young girl will accept as an old man. So what he did that, because he's a big yogi, great yogi, he converted himself to a very handsome young man, just like that. You like this idea, Chandra? Suppose you become very old. Since you become a yogi, you can again become a beautiful girl of 20, 18, 19 years.
Yes.
You like that? Suppose you reach age of 80 or 90, you become very old. But because of yogic power, you can convert yourself to 18 to 19 years young girl again. Is it very nice? Good idea? All right. You always want. Very nice girl. You always want to be very young, no? This is ambition of everyone. How can you remain young then? Ever young? You know the stages. You become old. Okay, how many times you can use yogic power? Ultimately, you will have to leave the body. So, what is a secret of remaining young? How can you remain young? Everybody wants to remain young, always, eternally, enjoy life. But you cannot do it in this material world. You cannot remain in this material world and eternally young, be eternally young. So you have to transport yourself from the material world to Golok Vrindavan and be associated with Krishna. And since Krishna is always young, ever young, Nava Yauvanam, Adim Purana Purusham Navayauvanam Cha is always very young. Since you are associated with Krishna, you always become very young. So, which is a better way of remaining young? Use yogic powers or be associated with Krishna?
Associated.
Associate of Krishna.
Yes, yes. Because desire is there. Everybody wants to be young and very beautiful, handsome and all that. Nobody can deny that. But the way to do is to become associated with Krishna rather than use your yogi power. But anyway, this person is very great yogi, converted himself, great young man, very nice, very handsome. Everybody attracted to him. So we went to palace of the young girls. There are 50 girls. How many girls?
50.
50 girls. And every one of them liked Sabharimani. Oh, immediately they fell in love with Sabharimani. So handsome. So they started fighting with themselves. I want to marry him. I want to marry him. So the news reached Maharaj. And the girl said that, father, you get me married to this Sabharimani, not that my sister and all that. Then Sabharimani said, okay, no problem. Don't fight. I'll marry every one of you. All the 50 girls. Nice idea, Vibro. You like this? One is enough. Right. But Sabharimani is so, versatile. I mean, he is very powerful. So he can satisfy 50 young girls. This yogic power, using his yogic power. So he married 50 young girls. And for years together, thousands of years, he enjoyed life with his young girls. Then suddenly he realized, oh my God, how wasted my life by sense and intelligence, intelligent senses. I wasted my precious time instead of going my spiritual path. I have wasted so much time. So immediately that realization dawned on him. And then he finally, along with his wife, he left these palaces and went to forest and then started meditating Krishna, and ultimately became free from his sexual urge and all gratification. This happened to him because he had once abused or offended Vaishnava Garuda. Garuda is a great Vaishnava. Who is Garuda?
Krishna's vehicle.
Yes, Krishna's vehicle, Vahana. So Garuda, in his form as a bird, was very interested in eating fish. So he always stayed near Yamuna river, and every time he picked up so many fish from the Yamuna river and started eating that. And the whole fish became very, very, very upset, and they become very terrorized. So they approached Sabharimani, was living near Yamuna river. And they told him that, okay, this Garuda every day is coming and eating us. If he continues like this, every one of us will be finished in a few days. So you please do something. So Sabharimani first asked him not to come and not to do it again to Garuda. So Garuda agreed, although he was very powerful. Since Sabharimani was a rishi, okay, I will not do that. But again, he once again ate up few fish. So Sabharimani cursed himself, if you again enter Yamuna Nadi, you will be destroyed, you will die. So that curse, because he cursed of Vaishnava, that becomes an aparata. Because of aparata only, he couldn't control his senses. So you have to be very careful that you never offend a Vaishnava. Krishna devotee is always very special. Krishna doesn't like his devotee to be offended or something bad, or you do something bad to a Krishna devotee. Krishna will not tolerate that. He may tolerate your offenses against himself, but not your devotee. That is the quality of Krishna. So, in this verse, Krishna says that, okay, you have to control every of your control. And tasmad asimhabhavo nigrihidani sarvasha. Not even one sense should be left uncontrolled. If you do that, what happens? then your prajna will be very steady. When Krishna makes a comparison between two intelligent persons, one who is materially intelligent and one who is spiritually intelligent, in verse number 69, Ya Nisha Sarva Bhutanam Tasyam Jagradi Samyami Yasyam Jagradi Bhutani Sa Nisha Pashyado Mune. There are two types of people, one with material intelligence, who is expert in making money, who can advance very materially, great achievement materially by maybe a scientist or philosopher or a businessman or a Bollywood actor or a politician. He becomes very successful by using his intelligence, but he is spiritually ignorant. So when there is a spiritual activities are there, he is ignorant of spiritual activities. And yes, Mataji. So for a materially intelligent person, activities or spiritual activities are night for him because he is ignorant of spiritual knowledge. And so he doesn't know what is spiritual activities are. And because he is ignorant, it is like a night for him. Night, and a synonym of night is ignorance. Ignorance. So spiritual activities, this person is ignorant. And for him, the spiritual activities like a night. But for a spiritually intelligent person, he is very awake during the spiritual activities. He's always very alert in executing devotion service, getting morning, chanting, arati, offerings, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam classes, reading, going for dham visits, going for book distribution, always active. So for him, this is daytime because he's in full knowledge. But when it comes to material activities, this material intelligent person is always active. Go for cinema, go for cricket match, go to a restaurant, go to picnic, go to some tourist spots, buy new clothes, buy new car. It's very interesting, isn't it? So he's very active. But the spiritually intelligent person, for him, is a night. He's not interested in that. He knows this. He knows all those aspects, everything about the material life. He knows everything about material desires. But he's staying away from these material desires. He knows the dangers involved in satisfying the material desires. What is the danger of satisfying material desire? What is the danger? Why? What's wrong in having some car? What is wrong having some big bungalow? What is wrong in visiting Malaysia, Singapore, London, Paris, New York, enjoying life in the restaurants, dancing? What's wrong? It's enjoyable, isn't it, Chandra? Isn't it enjoyable? Go to Bombay, go to London, go to New York, see the nice sights, say, enjoy life. What's wrong? Nothing wrong. Everybody silent?
No Krishna there.
No Krishna. Since there is no Krishna, what happens? Only matter is there. And matter means you get attached to matter. And when you get attached to matter, you continue to life after life. You continue in addiction to matter, get bonded. So this fact, the spiritually Krishna conscious person knows, but this material and the material intelligent person, he doesn't know that. He only is interested in sense gratification, enjoying. The consequences of enjoyment, he doesn't know. But the spiritually intelligent person knows the consequence. That's why he says that Yasyam Jagati Samyami Sa Nisha Pashyodo Muni. He knows. He knows what is sense gratification. He knows what is desires. But he knows the consequences of enjoyment, trying to fulfill this desire. So this is explained in the next verse more detail. Apuryamanam achala pradishtam samudram apam yam pravishanti yadva tadvat kama yam pravishanti sarve na sa shandimapnodi na kama kami. This Krishna conscious person also gets desires because he has to maintain his body. So long we are living, we have some material desires to be fulfilled because for maintaining your body, certain things are required. So for him, the desires desires always come to him. Like he gives an example, Krishna gives an example of rivers flowing incessantly to the sea. The sea is always getting filled up. But the sea now overflows. Sea is always filled up, but doesn't overflow. How many quantities of water from so many rivers are coming and pouring into a sea, but sea is not disturbed. Sea is always calm. Same way, the desires come to this Krishna conscious person. He has to do some living. He has to make a living. He has to attend some urgent body needs. But apart from that, he is not at all interested in indulging in these senses, indulging in the desires. He knows where to stop. He knows how much, to what extent you can fulfill these desires. Basic requirements. Which are the three basic requirements for making a living? Which is the first requirement? To sustain life, which is the first requirement? Food. Yes, food. You have to take food. Food and food and yes. Food is a basic thing. It's always a. You don't have to make an effort for that. Krishna is so merciful. Without making any effort, you can have air. But for taking food, you have to do some effort, isn't it? So that becomes a desire to take food. So that is required. So some effort has to be, you have to do some work or something you have to do to earn some food. What is the next requirement? What is the next requirement?
Shelter.
Yes, shelter is there. Before shelter, there is something else. After taking food, what happens? In the beginning of the class, I said that you are in a very nice dress, isn't it? Very nice color. Kamaji, you like the color of Chandra's dress?
Yes, yes.
Very nice, no?
Clothing.
Yeah. So, what is that required? You need dress, no? You need clothes. Without clothes, you cannot move about. There are some sannyasis, they call Nagna sannyasis. Okay, they can walk about without wearing clothes, but normal person have to always wear clothes. So that is the second urgent requirement. And the third one, you said right, shelter. So these basically three requirements is required: food, clothing, and shelter. But apart from that, even that also you have to put it minimum. Food you take prasadam. Clothes also, nice clothes, but not very expensive, not so many quantity, not so many numbers. Shelter also, house, nice house with Krishna in the middle. So you become very happy. So that's why he's sashanti apnodi. Other than that, he will not indulge in material desires. So he becomes shanti, sashanti apnodi. But a person who is always interested in fulfilling his material desires, always trying to indulge, trying to seek out methods, means, trying to raise money, some hook or crook, he has to make money and then enjoy the desires. So that person, he will not be peaceful. That's why he said that Tadvat kama yam pravishanti sarve sa shanti mapnodi na kama kami. So Krishna conscious person, although desires come to him, he is always peaceful. He is not disturbed. But other person who is materially intelligent, when the desires come to him, he makes all the effort to satisfy that. Then he is always anxious, always disturbed, and he's always miserable. So he is more intelligent than who is more intelligent, materially intelligent person or spiritually intelligent?
Spiritual intelligence.
Spiritual. That spiritual intelligence is called Krishna consciousness. That is called Krishna consciousness. So only intelligent, really intelligent person can take up Krishna consciousness, and you're all very intelligent. That's why you've taken Krishna consciousness. So Krishna will be very happy to have you all. So thank you very much. We have only 2 more verses left. That will finish on Saturday. Then Friday you will have, what will you have next Friday?
Pentathlon, Prabhu.
Yes, pentathlon. Yes, pentathlon. From verse 39 to verse 72, we can play pentathlon. So you got 1 week. Although I don't know whether you are prepared. Maybe you have started preparing.
Still not to.
You have to do, Prabhu. You have to prepare from every day. You are taking verse. You have to study the verse, read the translation, read the purport. You have to be serious. That's why we are having this this pentathlon. All that. Coming to class is very nice. Good. You get some transcendental association. You get some knowledge. But for thorough knowledge, you have to read thoroughly. So that way you become very knowledgeable. Then you can preach to others. That's how you develop spiritually. Right? Anyway, 1 week is there. Make very serious effort to study. Okay. There's only 33 verses. Read the verses, read the translation, read the purport. Sunday when you come, I will give you English book. Please remind me, okay?
Okay, Prabhu.
Last week also I wanted to give you, but somehow I forgot last minute. So immediately you come, you remind me. Okay?
Yes.
Right. Hare Krishna. Right. Thank you. So Chandra,
Hare
do
Krishna,
what?
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Yes. Start.
Namaste Narasimhaya Prahladaladadaine Hiranyakashipo Vakshaha Shilatankanakalaye Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha Yato Yato Yam Tato Narsimha Bahe Narsimha Hridaye Narsimha Narasimha Matim Sharanam Prabhate Tava Karakamalabare Natha Adbhuta Shankar Lelita Hiranyakashipo Tanubrahma Keshavadhrita Narahari Rupa Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Narasimhadev Jaya Narasimhadev Jaya Narasimhadev Jaya Narasimhadev Jaya Narahari Jaya Narahari Jaya Narahari Jaya Narahari Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Nitai Gaura Hari Bol
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol 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 Uttambira Mahavishnu
Jalandam Sarvadomukham
Narasimham Vishnam Badram Bhutyam Bhutyam Namami Uttambira Mahavishnu Jalandam Sarvadomukham Narasimham Vishnam Badram Bhutyam Bhutyam Namami Uttambira Mahavishnu Jalandam Sarvadomukham Narasimham Vishnam Badram Bhutyam Bhutyam Namami Shri Narasimha Jai Narasimha Jai Jai Shri Narasimha Praladesha Jaya Mukha Padma Vringa Shri Narasimha Jai Narasimha Jai Jai Shri Narasimha Jaladeesha Jaya Padma Mukha Padma Vringa Shri Narasimha Jai Narasimha Jai Jai Shri Narasimha Jaladeesha Jaya Padma Mukha Padma Vringa
शुद्ध भक्ति विघ्ननाशकारी श्री नरसिंह देव भगवान की
Jai
वैष्णव भक्त शेष पड़ा महाराज की
Jai
ताय गो प्रेमानंदे
Hari Bol
कल्पतरुभ्यश्च नंदपुरी वैष्णव वृंद की
Jai
उमाचार्य दास ठाकुर की
Jai
लीला प्रवाद की
Jai
गो